Some people look like they could go another 20, and some people are like really dying. Yeah.
Body out. Tap it over. Catch it over. मेरा वाला पढ़ इंदर ਨੂੰ ਬਣਾਤਾ ਤੂੰ क्या चलिए आ जा
Well, we waited for her. She said she's had less than a kilometer for like 10 minutes now. Oh, wait, guys. Dad dipped on them. They dipped on the dad.
ਪਤਾ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀ congratulations on not
Oh,
getting
wait,
lost.
guys, I realized she was still Wait, what's Kira's my phone's not working. So let's What? Mine won't show. I like
ਇੱਥੇ ਖੜ ਪੈ ਮੇਰੇ ਮੈਂ ਬੜਾ ਇੱਥੇ ਖੜ ਕੇ ਬਣਾ ਮੜੀ
shorter distances, 1,000 meters. So to now move into the longer distances, move on to the roads, what advice would you have for others who are looking to maybe move up in distance or make that transition from a track athlete or a 5K runner up to the half?
Yeah, definitely. Track. I still do track. I do the 5,000 and the 1,500 sometimes. I do want to do another 10,000.
Right there, right there.
The half marathon, it is her birthday. So can we give a big shout out for the birthday girl, Sam Torrey, who just won the half marathon here at Vivo. Happy birthday, what a way to celebrate. look just absolutely elated at the finish line. I know that
I think the win was special because I knew that there would be a lot of community support. The Vancouver running community is amazing, and it was just so fun to see.
That's absolutely fantastic. And again, maybe we could leave our listeners with one piece of advice for those who are starting and maybe again transitioning from another sport. What is one great piece of advice you can give them for how to not just be successful, but really enjoy the transition to the world of running?
I would say don't be shy because a lot of regular members make some friends, feel the community support. It's really nice. It's special to achieve
Again, you had a ton of support out there today. I gotta ask, how are you going to celebrate your birthday, Nelly? You got the job done. Wine and tacos, and we should all be celebrating in a similar way. We finished our races today. Sam Joy, congratulations on your win. Happy birthday, and best of luck with your recovery and everything that comes next.
Good to see a number of athletes that have made their way to that lane who wanted to go sub 2.5 hours. As you can see, we're 1 minute 10 seconds away from that mark. Congrats, great start approaching the line. Looks like Leanne Ordenius is there with Martin Daniela, and a good bit of heading things back over to Caitlin Adams.
Thank you very much, Steve, as our half marathon participants continue to cross the line here, and great crowd here at the finish line. And a lot of you have been camped out pretty early, so we're going to have some giveaways in the crowd coming out soon, so be sure to keep an eye out for those. And we'll take a look now, Kate, at just some of the excitement going on around the event today, of course. At that beautiful course. We're back in the finish line now.
Well, and as you mentioned, just so many cheer sites out on course. The entertainment is bumping, you know, and I love that those cowbells have been handed out. It wasn't until I started doing road racing myself that I realized it is really true what Will Ferrell says. You always need more cowbell.
Now, to be fair, it was Christopher Walken talking to Will Ferrell.
That's true. Well, they were both right. More cowbell all the way. And again, just the crowds at our finish line here, as we mentioned earlier, we've doubled our bleacher size We should also mention that this year's medal, we saw it around the neck of our male winner of the half marathon, Dylan Alec. Absolutely beautiful medal. It features a gorgeous Indigenous design on the front by artist Daryl Blythe, and really beautiful and unique designs on the back, including iconic locations that are passed on the course today. Runners also, of course, received a cool technical shirt with bold Vancouver logo on the front and the back. And I know we've been talking about how cozy and comfy all of our race gear is, so make sure that you're sporting that with pride along with these beautiful medals for our finishers. Absolutely gorgeous, and what a lovely memento to be able to bring home and remember this really thrilling weekend by.
And of course, an event like this doesn't go on without countless lead up. So thank you again to all the wonderful volunteers, and of course, the sponsors, the premier sponsor, BMO Bank of Montreal, other event partners, the province of British Columbia, Via Sport BC, the Running Room, Sport Hosting Vancouver, Brooks Running Canada, Garmin, Harmless Harvest, Noon Hydration, Alcus Water, Young Pharmacy, Athletics Canada, Stance and Stay Vancouver Hotels, and the legacy of this event. It's celebrated here as well, which is nice to see.
And what a cool graphic you just saw on screen there with the progression over the 52 years that this event has been taking place. Just incredible to know that back in 1972, Tom Howard led just 32 runners through 5 laps of Stanley Park. Only 2 women competed in that inaugural event. Of course, this year we have over 23,000 runners total, and the women's running boom has really taken off. Great to see the growth and progress across the board. And we should also just give a shout out to Tom Howard. What a legacy runner himself. He won the first 3 editions of this marathon, and back on site this year, not competing this year, but always a huge supporter of our event. So we thank him for the groundbreaking work that he did all the way back 52 years ago.
So we should get our first marathoners through the halfway point fairly soon. Our leaders right now at 19.7 kilometers. So once they get through that halfway mark, we'll update you, of course, as we get to see how the elite race is playing out at the 10-kilometer mark. It was Reyes Villanueva with a healthy lead over Chris Balestrini. Villanueva through 10 kilometers at 32:33. Balestrini behind him at 33:15. Also in the mix, Takahiro Yoda. He was also through in 33:15, as was Alexander Ricard, and Jack Carlisle and Matthew Newman only a second back of that 33:15 at 33:16. So we will see if it's still tightly bunched for that second place at the halfway mark, but it was, again, Villanueva with a 42-second advantage at the 10-kilometer mark. That is a 3:16-kilometer pace, which is, it's fast.
It's speedy, and it's hard to think about maintaining that over the course of a half marathon, never mind a full. Great shot here of where our 8K runners are going to be traversing as they make their way to the finish line. Again, so fantastic that we have 3 point-to-point races today, the half marathon, the full marathon, and the 8K, and you're taking a look at that now on screen if you are watching at home as they make their way around what is, essentially kilometers upon kilometers of beautiful greenery, and then into those tall skyscrapers to the finish line, and through so many neighborhoods, community cheer zones, charity sites along the way. Really an opportunity to get to know the city on foot, and what better way to get to know a world-class city than on foot or on bike. We should mention that there are so many of our top Canadian and international elites taking to the exact same courses as our mass participants today, and you just mentioned 2 of them in the form of Sergio Reyes Villanueva, and he was 3rd overall at this race last year. He was top Canadian, and he's out there up against Chris Balestrini. As you mentioned, Balestrini won this race in 2022. He was 8th last year, but these guys on this course have run less than 30 seconds apart. not head to head, but they've come awfully close on paper. So we should see a great throwdown between the two of those. Again, Balestrini, our Canadian 50K national record holder. He's from London, Ontario, and has a PB of 2:17:05 from the 2020 Waterloo Marathon, up against Reyes Villanueva, who's from Mississauga, Ontario. And as you heard from the winner of our half marathon, Dylan Alec trains with him. Reyes Villanueva was third at the Canadian Marathon Championships in the fall in 2023. And he's got a PB of 2:18:04, and just said he absolutely loves coming to Vancouver to run, and who wouldn't? So those two up front, and then we of course mentioned as well that Luc Boucher is making his debut on his home course here, and is 33 years old, two-time Olympian in the 5,000 meter. From right here in Vancouver, said he always wanted to open up his marathon debut on this course. And we are hoping that he's having a great day out there as well. As you can see on your screen that the flags are blowing, the wind is picking up a little bit. But no rain yet, Adam.
No rain, which is remarkable for Vancouver in the spring. And you mentioned Luc Boucher, so he was in 7th place at the 10-kilometer mark, but we should be getting those halfway splits momentarily, as the leaders now through 21 kilometers. They're halfway there. We have our 21-kilometer race finishers continuing to cross the line here. Continue to bring them home, folks. And of course, we want to thank some more of our sponsors. Exact Nutrition, Mars Quest, Turkish Airlines, Fitness World Canada, Run Van, Big Steel Box, CTV, Frog Box, Old Dutch, Kettle Valley Winery, Oxford Properties, and Stanley Park Brewing.
Well, you know, you can't mention the progress of our top men in the marathon without giving a good nod, of course, to our top women as well. And in the lead right now is Argentina Valdepeñas, our Mexican athlete, and she went through that 10K mark in 37:01. But right with her is American Kate Landau, just 3 seconds back. And then Emily Andrews currently sits in 3rd through that 10K split, only 19 seconds back as well. So a good pack going up front. And we'll keep our eye on the progress of all of our marathoners as they come through halfway now on the men's side.
So we have our first halfway split in the men's marathon, and Sergio Reyes Villanueva continuing to lead the way. He's through the halfway point in 1:09:19, 3:19 per kilometer pace for the Canadian.
And of course, quick math would tell you that that puts him just under 2:20 tempo, and on this course, that is a fabulous time. If he can maintain that, that would be a big improvement on the time that he ran here last year. It really speaks again to not only that the weather is favorable, but that the crowd support must be on fire out there, because we all know what it feels like to have those cheer squads, have friends and family out there, making sure that every step of that 42.2 kilometers is as enjoyable as possible.
Now, he had a 42-second advantage at the 10-kilometer split. He has now increased that to 54 seconds through halfway. Chris Balestrini through the halfway mark, 1:10:14. And that 10K split, it was pretty bunched up for second, but Balestrini now on his own in second. Alexander Ricard running in third right now. So Balestrini has broken away from the group, and there is a group still running closely knit for third right now, as Ricard, Matthew Newman, and Jack Carlisle all through the halfway point in 1:10:31. Takahiro Yoda not far off at 1:10:34.
You know, I always love the stories behind the athletes, and so as we're giving these updates about where they are on course and how fast they've run and what their accolades are, we should also mention that so many of our top athletes, and I think so many of our athletes out here in general, have sort of opted into lifestyles that involve caring for others. And I think that really speaks to the humanity of the running community. So Chris Balestrini and his partner Nicole, both family medicine candidates. They are going to be family doctors, got matched into the same program, are going to be spending the next little while in Penticton as they work towards their goals of becoming family medicine doctors. And we're so grateful for all of the folks in our elites and across the board who are making sure that they're taking care of all of those around them as they pursue their own high-level goals as athletes.
Oh, there's Michelle. So our marathoners, our lead marathoners now in
Go Michelle! Go Michelle!
Known for Jericho Beach and Spanish Bank, Point Grey is a sophisticated neighborhood near UBC and Kitsilano with views of downtown Vancouver and the North Shore Mountains. And the runners, of course, will be inspired by these breathtaking views of the ocean and mountains as they run through that neighborhood. You get a look at some of the mountains there. My biggest problem when I moved away from this city was I no longer knew what north was.
It's hard when you lose those mountains. They're the compass for so many folks who are, especially from this area, the mountains and the ocean. And I can't think of a more beautiful place to have access to both. Again, under overcast but dry skies here in downtown Vancouver. Crowd support has remained strong, both on, of course, and at the finish line. And we should mention that if you are hanging out at our finish line right now, you're going to want to keep that energy high, because the co-host here, Adam Dunphy, is absolutely psyched about using a t-shirt in our audience later. So make sure that you stick around, make sure you keep those cheers strong, and you might just win yourself a prize.
I mean, a lot of promises have been made about this t-shirt gun. I haven't actually seen it yet. But we'll go from there. And reminder, everyone, I see a lot of people with their phones out here today. Be sure to tag us at Vivo Van Marathon. Tag us online as well.
Yeah, and you can use hashtag RunVan as well as hashtag VMOPM. As you mentioned, Adam, make sure that if you're tuning in from home, or even if you're at the finish line and just wanting to get a sense of where your friends and family are, you can check out that participant tracking app. You can go online and do that, or in your app store, and make sure you're getting a sense of exactly where your friends and family are out on these state courses.
Here.
Well, and as we're continuing to check out our half marathon finishers, we know that our 8K finishers will be coming through soon as well. And Adam, I know that so many of these athletes love hearing their names called out and being supported by our very own Steve King. So make sure that we give him an opportunity here to take back over and cheer on so many of our finishers as they come through the line.
Thanks very much, Kate. Thank you very much, Adam. And ladies and gentlemen, at this time, you can see the clock has been changed over on the left-hand side as the runners move over. The runners in the half coming in on the right-hand side. But you've got 17 and a half minutes on the clock now for those doing the 8K event. Of course, when we look at records, Colin Wallace, 2011, set that time at 25:49. Julia Ruff, 2010, set a time at 29 minutes. If anyone wants to beat the records, those are the times they got to beat. But don't forget, we began the 8K in 2008, and again, at this time, they're almost 18 minutes into their event. You can see we've got a 2:47 on the clock for the athletes who are arriving. We had 10,010 athletes that went across the start line for the half marathon. We've got 6,211 that are underway in their marathon journey. And as you heard, Sergio Reyes Villanueva, Chris Balestrini, and I believe Takehiro Yoda were 1, 2, and 3 out there at this time. As we get ready to welcome more, we've got Alex Chen arriving, Colin Phillip, Inez Verdun, Susie Haskell, Sarah Lindberner from Prince George. Don't forget the cowbells. We know a lot of you picked up cowbells yesterday at the expo. This is the time to be using them as the athletes really appreciate your encouragement as they make their way inexorably towards this great finish line here. And what a day it's turned out to be. You heard about Samantha Jory winning on her birthday, but Dylan Alick on not an easy course, he ended up setting that personal best, 66 even. Knocking out the best that he had previously, which was also a 66-minute clocking, but this was a little bit faster than that. Don't forget he's a 29:49 finisher at the 10K distance. I believe it's done 14 minutes as well. Here we go, others closing in. Andy Burgess is here. Alex Bukenko. We've got Yuchi Michiki from Surrey. Alejandro Lopez next up. Osorio from Bogota in Colombia is arriving at the line. And again, we do want to thank those pacers. We saw a few of them a moment ago that were coming on through the line with 2.5 hours on their pace, and they would have gone in the final wave. As Gerald Dongaskev is here. We've got Baldy Tour from Surrey. Wen Chen Cheng is next arriving. Heidi Schmidt and Jie Zhang. We got Rachel Liu, Julia Douglas out of Comox just moved into the Masters division. That would be the 40 plus, and don't forget that one women's division alone. We had 609 entries. As it looks like Jennifer Maykoski of Portland, Oregon, and what a day they've had. We've got plenty of action. Don't forget, just last weekend they also had a race at the marathon distance, and we actually have the women's winner of that race in the field doing a marathon back-to-back weekends. As you can see, Blair Wilson arriving. He's got Annika Gasser from Canmore behind. Don't forget, Canmore hosts some major races, not only, of course, of running, but of course we've hosted World Cups there for cross-country skiing. They also had our World Mountain Championships, the Canadian Mountain Running Championships here. As a great 6-time winner of the Victoria Marathon, has been the race director of that, and we really appreciate them. Of course, we're talking about Kelvin Broad. He's not with us, he's now living in Wales, but coming to the line, 20 minutes now on the clock. So next 5 or 6 minutes, we should see the first athletes arriving in the 8K event. As Quentin and Hayley Thompson from Rocky Mountain House are coming in together. Peter Road is it. Maurice Carrier, the 71-year-old out of Edmonton. He wanted to go inside 2:45. I hope he's done that because may well have done it because of the wave start. Pedro Soriano Ribeiro coaching the 24-year-old. He's got Guillaume Soriano Adam alongside with Sydney Barlow from Victoria, Rachel Lee out of Burnaby, Helen Yu, Eleanor Williams from Langley. We've got New York represented by Radhika Kador. The 28-year-old, hopefully she's having a good time. I think we could do with a medic there, with a young man who just leaned forward, but he's okay. Back on his feet again as Barbara Polidika from Burnaby arrives. She just moved into the women's 50-54 division earlier this year. I want to make a mention, I saw Dr. Janet Green arriving a little while ago. She's done hundreds of marathons in her career. And don't forget, she's off Vancouver Island, and it's good to see her taking on the half this year. And a moment ago, I saw Ken Elmer walking past us as well. He's not in the race, he's watching the action. The man who got the Vancouver Sun Run underway and a sub-4-minute miler in his own right. He was the man along with Dr. Doug Clement, who's now in his 90s, and he got second in his division at the Vancouver Sun Run. And of course, Diane Clement and Dr. Jack Taunton. These were the people who got some of the most spectacular races underway. And when you look at the original event in 1972, there were 46 starters and 32 finishers. It wasn't until 1975 that we had runners in the field. And the first time we had 1,000 runners in the marathon, that was in 1980. And it went up from there, of course, and we're just thrilled. You imagine being one of those 32 original finishers in 1972, where the last person actually did around 3 hours, 5 minutes. Avanti Niebauer and Ian from Calgary, they're closing in together. Rafaela Cobrali. We've also got Katie Kim next up there. As we have 22.5 minutes into the 8K. It looks like 2,083 stars
दूर बहुत कितने है
Awesome job, you did it. Please move ahead. To Bar Korean, all refreshments.
Congratulations, seriously, for completing the whole Vancouver Marathon. That is so
No, I kind of assumed that.
Once you exit the marathon now, there is no re-entry. You are first, cheer on the other runners.
Surinder hello
Please keep moving. Seriously, incredible job. Please join our
congratulations फोटो तो नहीं खींची होंगी है ना सारा ऐसे गया था
इसी साढ़े गोल दिन क्योंकि
बहुत हक्का मर गया इधर चल कर दिया ब्रांड अपना
Awesome job, you did it. Please move ahead.